ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. A big weekend for nationals in the country. We're going to start with the Bahamas Bowling Federation at Mario's. After 2 weeks of play, it came down to Championship Sunday on the men's side. It was the veteran David Slatter winning his 5th straight title and 8th overall in a runaway against Graham Higgs, 246 to 170.
Being here before does give me a little advantage because I'm a little more comfortable on TV versus somebody that's when it's their first time. That said, there's still some nerves, still the need to be focused, and really I take each tournament separately. You know, I go into it with a game plan. I try to execute, and you know, I think that because of my practice regimen, my commitment to practicing, if I stick to my game plan and execute, I should be there in the championship match. And then it comes down to sometimes a little bit of luck. I threw some good shots. I got some good breaks. So tonight I got the breaks, Graham didn't, but that's, you know, when it comes to bowling, there's a little bit of luck involved too. So I'm just happy to be on top.
A bit of a surprise in the ladies division. Driscoll Roll had led the competition from the beginning and was looking to repeat as champion, but it would be Janice Hoyt winning in come from behind fashion, 193-190.
It wasn't easy. The girls were bowling pretty good. But when I went in the game, I just said, relax and roll your game. I started to find my game later on in the tournament, and I found it completely the last night. And so I said, okay, you have your line, you just play your line, play your game, and don't worry about the scores. And while I was bowling the last game, I was very relaxed. I didn't put any pressure on myself. I didn't look at the scores. The only thing I did was try to concentrate on rolling my line, not guiding the ball, but just coming through the ball, getting it off my fingers, and everything worked out well. I didn't panic when I threw a good ball and didn't get the strike. I didn't panic. So, but the spare, I had a split in the third frame that I converted, and I think that probably put the icing on the cake for me.
The Bahamas Junior Golf Championships also held over the weekend at the Ocean Club course on Paradise Island. Heathcliff Kane winning the boys 16-18s with a 161. Zion Taylor second with a 177. Benjamin Knowles in third with a 186. Jenna Bales, the 16-18 girls champ, with a 170. Conditions not the best, plenty of wind, and it affected play tremendously.
First day wasn't great, but then the second day I played much better, which I'm proud of.
This weekend I didn't play too well. The conditions were tough, but I managed to finish top 3. It was a real mental struggle out there, but I managed to pull it together.
It was tough. The course played really hard, but had some good shots, had some bad shots.
Performance was good. I was just trying to keep it in play and knock it out there. But the competition was tough and the wind was tough, so it's definitely a challenge.
This weekend was extremely hard with the winds, and from the distance I was playing with, it was quite hard, but I managed somehow to pull it together.
Well, there was just a lot of wind, so like 20 mile an hour and then like 30 mile an hour gusts, just really taking the ball. And then the course was playing well, but just with that wind, it was just very hard to get shots on target and in the fairway.
Albany, if you hit it in the bush, I mean, if you hit it left or right, you're not in the fairway, you can't find your ball. But here, there's a lot of places where you could put it, which makes it easy.
The championship matchup set in the Province Volleyball Association. The Central Gas Panthers booking their spot in the ladies title series with a sweep over the Johnson Truckers. They won the clincher in 4 sets, 25-19, 25-19, 23-25, and 25-21. The Panthers now taking on the Warhawks, who also brought the brooms against the Vixens, winning the clincher there in straight sets, 25-22, 25-20, and 25-16. The Warhawks also into the men's championship against the Defenders. From the NBA, a slow start yesterday for Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings. They trailed the Detroit Pistons 31-15 after the first quarter. second quarter, a much different story. The Kings outscoring the Pistons 34-20, and that momentum carried over after halftime, with the Kings taking the lead and going up 76-70 heading to the fourth. That final quarter back and forth, but the Kings would pull it out 106-100. Buddy 7 of 17 from the field. He went 3 for 11 from behind the three-point arc. He finished up with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists in 25 minutes off the bench. The Kings home again tomorrow against the Washington Wizards. Some of our pro ballers unable to take to the hardwood over the weekend due to concerns of the coronavirus. Kadeem Colby, Gio Bain, and Mark St. Ford all playing in Japan, while Dwight Colby is in Italy. Both of those countries taking extreme measures against the virus, canceling all games. Dwight and Daniel Cesare have a game scheduled for Wednesday in the European Champions League, while all play in Japan has been postponed until March 14. A number of our other pro bowlers were able to take to the court over the weekend. Down in Brazil, David Nesbitt coming off Player of the Week honors in the last round, and he had another big game for Corinthians. He was 6 of 13 from the field, a perfect 12 for 12 with the charity stripe. He finished up with a game-high 24 points to go along with 11 rebounds. However, Corinthians coming out on the losing end 89-80 to Sao Paulo. Elsewhere over the weekend, Carballosa still undefeated in Spain, a perfect 19-0 after a 101-73 win over Guillon. Willis Mackey a game-high 20 points. LJ Rose on the move after starting the season in Finland. He's now in the Czech Republic with BK Olamaku. They went down 96-90. LJ also with a game high. He scored 21 points. Travis Munnings a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and an 88-74 win for Stade Roger in France. Jonathan Augustine Farrell, he's on the move as well. He's now in Argentina with Oberez after starting the season in Belgium. Farrell had 15 points and a 91-89 loss. As for Kevin Altidore, he posted 14 points for Tromsø in Norway. They won 111-88. On to the college hardwood now. Another tough test in the SEC yesterday for Coach Gillette McPhee-McQuinn and the Ole Miss Running Rebels, taking on in-state rival and 10th-ranked Mississippi State. The Rebels made it competitive for 3 quarters before faltering down the stretch, going down 84-59.
The first 19 minutes was a preview of what it'll look like starting next year as far as the Mississippi State Ole Miss rivalry. I thought that we came out intimidated. I don't know if intimidated is the word, just nervous, anxious, and really wanted to play our best basketball after we got them settled down. I thought that we started to execute the game plan. As you can see, it was evident. Thinking maybe I should have called a timeout in the last minute. There was no way I thought they would go on a 10-0 run with a minute left. All we had to do is get the ball in, take it up the floor. That's 2 possessions, worst case 3. It ended up being like 6 possessions as we just unraveled, and I thought that took the air out of us and we couldn't recover.
As for what made the big difference at the end, Coach Joe says the numbers caught up with the Rebels once again.
I played 7 people off the bench. I played 3. And the style that he plays, it's impossible to keep up. You know, we just didn't have the bodies. But I thought, all things considered, we played well again. I have, I would like to think that I have his respect. He had nice things to say to me at the end of the game. He knows what's going on and where we're going, and I'm sure he's anticipating the rivalry to be a little bit more spicy in the future.
Weekend for Jaden Feast and the Nichols College Bison. They won the Commonwealth Coast Conference Tournament, earning an automatic bid to the NCAA Division III Championships. Played their starts on Friday with a matchup against the Stevens Institute Ducks. Also on the hardwood over the weekend in college, the St. Thomas Bobcats making it to the championship game of the Sun Conference Tournament before falling 78-73 to Southeastern. Dejor Adley 15 points and 8 rebounds. The Bobcats must now wait until Wednesday to find out if they get an at-large bid to the NAIA National Tournament. The McKendree Bearcats closing out their regular season schedule with a 94-83 win. Nate Bethel posting 15 points as well. Southwest Baptist gearing up for the Great Lakes Valley Conference Tournament. They won their regular season finale 71-66. Godfrey Roll finishing up with 14 points. Stephen F. Austin also getting up for the conference tournament. We can tell you they've now won 13 straight after taking care of Lamar 95-76. Nathan Bain with 10 points in the win. The ACC Men's Swimming Championships closing out over the weekend in North Carolina. Florida State's Isaac Bastian finishing up with the 200 breaststroke. He made the C final, finishing 6th, which placed him 14th overall in 157.42. The UB Mingos in action over the weekend in the Bahamas Men's Soccer League, taking on United. The Mingos had some good looks throughout the match, but just couldn't put it in the back of the net. United, on the other hand, scored very early, connecting in the 3rd minute, and they took that 1-0 lead into the half. 11 minutes into the second half, United struck again to double their advantage, and that was more than enough against a Mingos side which had at least a dozen shots on goal and couldn't connect. UB falls 2-0, and they're the only winless team left in the league at 0-5. United finally out of the cellar, getting their first victory, improving to 1-4.
We couldn't finish today. Like always, we need that number 9 who can really score, and we're having problems from the last 4 games, trying to finish and putting the ball behind the net. And that's our biggest problem. We had a lot of chances and opportunities that we had in the first half and second half, but like I said again, we just having that problem finishing. One way we can fix that is practice, and maybe if we get a win, that probably help them with their courage, give them courage. But fixing it is not really. We just need somebody just to score, and I think confidence. That's all they need: confidence and believe in themselves, and that they can do it.
That's a look at sports. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.